My neighbor tried to control my property, so I made it her only way out. When I bought my house in Cedar Grove, a quiet suburb just outside of Portland, all I wanted was peace, a little space, a fresh start. The house sat at the end of a cul-de-sac, with big oak trees, a wraparound porch, and a gently curving driveway that felt like it belonged in a Hallmark movie. But I didn't know that moving in also meant stepping into a psychological battlefield, because 2 doors down lived Sierra. I first met Sierra 3 days after I moved in. No hello, no welcome cookies, just her jabbing a manicured finger at my driveway and saying, "You'll need to move that. It's violating my tranquility." Yep, tranquility. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. That morning I was holding a coffee mug and a screwdriver, still half asleep and still trying to find the box with my Wi-Fi router. And here she was, dressed in baby blue like a Stepford wife with a vendetta, shoving what looked like a homemade rule book in my face. "There's a 15-foot buffer zone rule," she said. "Your driveway's within 7. "There's no HOA here," I replied, confused. "There's an understood community code," she snapped. It was all so surreal. Later that day, I called the city. No HOA, no buffer rule. And my driveway? Fully legal, grandfathered in, and entirely on my property. But here's where it got interesting. While reviewing my survey map, I noticed something. A narrow gravel path at the back of both our properties. Sierra had been using it for years to sneak out of her awkward, steep driveway. That path, it was mine. Her whole campaign wasn't about tranquility. It was about keeping control of a shortcut that didn't belong to her. And if she wanted me to reroute my driveway, maybe I should. But not in the way she expected. I installed a keypad-controlled steel gate across the gravel path. I made sure it was legal, paid for, and strategically placed. The next morning, Sierra screeched to a stop in her Lexus, only to find herself locked out of her own illegal escape route. The look on her face was pure chaos wrapped in confusion. Things got petty fast. She tossed soda cans on my lawn, filed noise complaints when I mowed the grass, even called the cops when I built a pergola with a permit taped to the window. But the most absurd moment? When she tried to sue me for emotional sabotage and vehicular trauma. In court, Sierra showed up dressed in black, like she was mourning the death of common sense. She wept. She waved hand-drawn maps. She claimed we had a gentlewoman's agreement to share the land. My lawyer? Calm, clear, and armed with drone footage, permits, and even night cam clips of her spray-painting fake markings on my property. The judge tossed it out with a warning. "One more frivolous lawsuit, and you'll be fined again." Sierra's cheeks flushed redder than her driveway. But she still didn't give up. A week later, I got a plastic folder on my doorstep proposing a shared access treaty. Basically, she wanted me to rebuild the gravel road to fit her car, maintain it at my expense, and agree not to use it during her stress-sensitive hours. I shredded it, mailed it back with a sticky note. Respect goes both ways. And here's the kicker. The gate she tried to have removed? It became her only way out. Her original driveway was unsafe, and now, every morning, she had to drive through my land to leave. Some mornings, I'd sip coffee and watch her glance nervously at the keypad, praying I didn't decide to change the code. Not because I'm cruel, but because actions have consequences. Eventually, she signed a formal agreement to use the path under my terms. That was her surrender. The neighbors celebrated. We threw a barbecue. Kids played. Music played. The whole street came alive again. Except for Sierra, who stayed behind her curtain, watching the joy she had tried to kill. She moved out a month later. But here's the part that really gets people talking. Was I too harsh? Or was I just protecting myself from someone who weaponized kindness and fake rules? Sierra wasn't just annoying, she was manipulative. But maybe, in her mind, she truly believed she was right. Maybe this was her way of feeling in control in a life that had spun out. So now I ask you, was I justified in turning the tables, or did I take it too far? Do you think people like Sierra deserve empathy, or are boundaries the only solution? And here's the kicker. When someone keeps pushing and pushing, at what point does standing your ground turn into petty revenge? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know, because this wasn't just a property dispute. It was a test of how far is too far when someone refuses to respect your space.